KYRIE, you took it to Colin out there tonight. Do you remember any nights like that you had on the other end of it your rookie year?
Oh yeah, my first game of the season, my rookie year was against Jose Calderon. I had 6 and 6. He had a double-double. I think he had like 22 and 12. Took me everywhere he wanted on the court, used me on screens, and I was just a nervous wreck out there. Obviously, that was my first game of my NBA career, but I had a few just veterans come at me and just school me, and it's just part of the league, and it's my job as a veteran just to play my game and make sure we come out with the win, but also set a standard. But
it's not fair, but I mean, he's number 2. He was drafted high. First, guy they took, I guess, since you left.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a comparison there. What do you think he should do to handle that, or ignore it, or just try to grow as a rookie?
Just by focusing on the things that he can control. Obviously getting better every single day in the gym, but having that same attitude and mindset. I mean, coming out in the first quarter, shooting as many shots as he did and trying to, prove a point against me, I loved it. Obviously, some very makeable shots on his end that could have gone in easily, and I think he would have been in a different rhythm. So, you always pay attention to those type of things. But we got on transition, got a few out of transition, and just had the control of the game and just tried to make him, comfortable as much as possible out there. That's all. But he's a really good player. I've been a fan of his since he was in high school. I watched all these young guys that come into the league, drafted high, when they're in high school. So obviously I've been doing a little studying as well, and just waiting for that moment to play against a young guy like that. He's very talented.
Yeah, was that a little motivation for you as well tonight?
You said motivation? Yeah, I mean, I think every night you should be motivated, but going against another great young point guard, he's going to be in our league for a while. Head of the franchise now, as well as Tristan and Kevin Love. So he's just going to continue to grow and get better.
What's that like to be? What's that like to be at this point in your career where people compare young guys to you?
I mean, I'm only 7 years older than him. That's probably a long time now, but I think that probably the point I'm getting at in my career, I'm very appreciative, but I always like those guys that build their own identities, just like I have, but just take away some of the great things that other great players have done in order to incorporate in your game to get better. So every single year you see the great players in our league consistently get better every single year, and they prove to us how great they are, and it's based on how consistent they are. So I think once he figures that out, every single night you're going to be demanded to, if you're going to be a 20-point scorer one night on a Wednesday, then you're going to be asked to do it on a Friday as well. So it's a challenge that I think he's more than willing to take, and he's up for it. He's talented enough to do it.
Speaking of consistency, Brad said he feels like you guys have played a little bit better since Thanksgiving. What's been the difference, or what feels different?
Well, I think that the unit that we have out there right now, has built that continuity, as well as just having some veteran leadership amongst us, where communication, effort, everything is kind of built on the guys that we have out there, with Marcus Morris coming and bringing some grit, and then Marcus Smart as well as doing his thing, and then Al not being in the lineup, as well as throwing Baines in there. And then, we have our other guys, the other young guys filling in and playing with that same pace that we're playing with. So it makes our jobs a lot easier to go out there and play at a high level when we're all doing it, not just, a couple guys here and there. It's just we need everybody to do it.
You wanted Gordon to be a little more aggressive, and was tonight kind of a building block of what you were hoping to see out of him from an aggression standpoint?
You think so, right?
Oh, you
I think aggressive. Yeah, absolutely.
Took more shots.
Look how much we won by. You know what I mean? And I think that right there is a happy moment, exciting moment for all of us, because it was all in the flow of our offense. It was all Gordon being Gordon, getting to the spots where he wanted to, and being the player that he's been over the course of his career as he's improved over time. So I just, it's our job to continue to exude confidence in him, but it's also his responsibility to bring that confidence within himself every single night.
Was there something you saw, whether it was in the game or on film, that made you feel that was the right time to talk to him about being more aggressive?
Well, I think that you try to find a balance of giving a guy space and trying to figure out, kind of that mental makeup of coming off a serious injury like that. So, a lot of pressure he's dealing with from the outside as well as the inside. We expect him to be great, but I think once he maintains his own expectations and how good he is and how great he wants to be, then we'll all fill in that way. And I think that we all should respect that. So I tried to give him as much space as possible, but as we got to 10 and 10, I was like, okay, these next 60 games. Like we got to kind of at least turn it up at least 2 notches before we get somewhere. I think we've done a great job of that. Obviously, it's only been 2 games, but we just got to continue to put games together.
Did you get a sense that when you talked to him about that, how receptive he was to that request on your part?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're born on the same day, so I don't know if you believe in astrology or anything like that, but we have some personality things that, we're aligned with, and I think that he has that ticker inside of him where, I remember Coach telling me, that, Gordon has a little bit of an asshole in him, and he needs that, out there on the floor, that toughness where he starts turning red and start getting, he starts getting into the basketball and getting out in transition and start dunking the basketball and start doing those things. That's the Gordon that we're used to seeing, and I'm going to continue to just give him that confidence, but as well as let him be a veteran that he is in this league and figure it out. So I'm just proud of him. I'm proud of the steps that he's making. It's challenging, coming from a fractured ankle and then coming into the season with all the talent that we have and then still trying to be the same player. It's just like there's a lot more sacrifice, a lot more to do, a lot more to understand. So I'm just proud of him, man. Proud of our guys just figuring this thing out.
Brad said asshole.
About confidence and the continuity with you and the players. Do you feel like, can you kind of elaborate from the beginning of the season, now that the quarter of the season is done? Can you talk about what you've seen from the players as well as yourself?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing for us has just been patience. It hasn't looked pretty, it hasn't looked great all the time, but it has looked good at times, and I think that we've used those moments to build off of, but we just couldn't find that consistency, and now I think that guys have just been there in the right positions. Obviously, we have some guys out still, so when those guys come back, then I think that they see the level of effort that we're all playing with, and they'll fit right along in. JB will add some dynamic, whether he's starting or whether he's off the bench. I think that he'll add another dynamic for us, scoring and playing defense, and then as well as Al being who he is. So, I'm just happy with the guys. Just growing closer as a group, and then understanding what the big picture is, and just playing games the right way.